Okay, Louie here with Sales to CEO, Louie Herron. Listen, we talked about the first part about stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself about the car dealership. Look, part one, we're now into part two, but here's what I want to tell you about part two. We're going to talk about not getting paid enough. We're going to talk about your schedule sucks. We're going to talk about it's just going to be hard to get promoted. All of these, I'm telling you, you can dispel every last one of them. But again, you're going to have to really focus with yourself about how important these things are, because all of these things you're telling yourself, you're just trying to make sense of your situation. So if you're not getting paid enough, you're not doing what you need to do to get paid enough. If you think your schedule sucks and you're not creative enough to create your own schedule, right? If you don't think you're going to get promoted or it's going to be hard to get promoted, I'm going to give you 5 things and 5 ways that I can show you how to dispel that and get you behind in gear so you can get promoted. Look, I've done that my whole car career and I can tell you how to do the exact same. So let's get right to it. We're talking about the very first thing, which is I'm not getting paid enough. So I want you to really just isolate this for a second. Think for a moment. Is it you're not getting paid because it's the wrong commission structure? Maybe you don't feel like you're getting paid because you're doing the comparison game, right? You call your buddy down the street and how much money did you make and how many cars did you sell and you're looking, maybe you haven't got a spiff in a long time. You were off on a few weekends where they were giving spiffs, you just weren't performing well. And again, I'll be honest with you. Let me just stop there for a moment. You guys got to think for a second. You have so much negotiation power as a salesperson with your managers. I don't even think you realize it. If you're a performer, if you're a big player, if you know how to get the deal done, man, I would negotiate my spiffs with my managers all day long. I create my own spiffs. And I would advise you to do the same. How do you do that? Man, you go to them and you put it out there. Hey man, this weekend, boss, if I give you 10 cars Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you pay me a G? How about $1,500? Maybe he says, I can't pay that much. I'll pay you $750. He may say, hey, you sell 12. I don't know what he'll tell you, but I know one thing, that if you sit there and wait for spiffs, wait for the time is right, and when they throw the spiffs out, you may never get spiffs. It just depends. I'll explain it here shortly why, from a percentage of why spiffs come and go so easily. But maybe the spiffs aren't there for you. Maybe you're just not hitting the bonus levels. You didn't hit your 12 cars or your 15 cars. And I got to tell you, again, this goes back to you. Here's the bottom line. You're not selling cars. That's why you're not getting paid enough. You're not selling the cars. You're not doing what you need to do because either your mindset's not right or you haven't mastered your craft. Your skills are not where they need to be. These things are a prerequisite to be able to consistently sell cars. I'll prove it to you. Think about this for a second. I want you to answer this question. You and I are selling cars in the same dealership. We're in the Honda store together. We got the same product, the same amount of inventory, the same management staff. We're on the same exact street corner. Okay, we got the same service department. We got the same number of salespeople in the dealership. How does somebody in the sales department make $9, $10, $12, $13,000 this month and I make $4 or $5? Think about it. How does that even happen? It can't be the commission structure. We're on the same one. It can't be managers are terrible. We're using the same manager. It can't be we don't have enough inventory. We all had the same amount of inventory before the month started. Think about the excuses that we make. Again, I want you to focus for a second. How much negativity are you focusing on? What is the conversation you have with yourself on a daily basis? And don't say you don't have one, because you have a conversation all day long, right? The one killer of the car business is idle time. You have a calendar and you have a ton of white space on that calendar. And the idle mind is what? It's the devil's workshop. You know it and I know it. If you have a lot of free time, all you do is think and think and think and make excuse and wonder. It happens to everybody. So you're not anyone different. I did it, you do it, and the guy down the street does it. The key is to overcome that by developing the mindset we need to and have the skill sets to be doing things while we wait for our appointments, while we create certain things. Who are you hanging out with? Are you having lot lawyer meetings with 3 or 4 other guys that are all blacked out and crapped out about what's going on in the business? The weather, it's cold, it's hot, it's this, it's that. Look, none of that contributes to your success. None of that will contribute to getting to the next level. Or you've got to separate yourself and be on your own island doing the things you know to do. I want to ask you this. How about your personal relationships? Because if it's not right at home, it's not going to be right at the dealership. You got to get your house in order. You got to get your goals in order. You got to get your habits in order. Everything contributes. I'm not getting paid enough has nothing to do with the commission structure. Let me just break this down. I don't know if you know this. Again, I've owned 3 dealerships. I've general managed several dealerships over an 18-year period. These commission structures are the same. I don't care where you go in the country. It's 25 to 30%. You're going to have $1,000, $1,500 pack. Your mini deals are going to be $100 to $200. I mean, you're going to get 2 to 5% on the back end, or if you don't get any percent of the back end, you're going to get a $100 spiff for a VSC or service contract sold. Your unit bonuses are going to range from 10 to 25 cars in every store in the country. What you don't realize is when it's all said and done, as a dealer principal, as a general manager, that compensation line always ends up at 17, 18, 20%. Always. Period. So when we talk about spiffs, the reason why spiffs come and go so frequently, depending on the size of the store, is everything's being monitored. How much compensation? Every time we have a mini deal, we pay a flat minimum commission and we lose money on the deal. It's going to raise your percentage. So the higher the percentage goes, the lower the spiffs come. So you got to really realize and understand, it's not the pay structure, it's not the street corner. If Johnny can make 10 grand in the same month you made $4,000 in, then the problem is not Johnny, it's not the pay plan, the problem is you. You got to get better, and that's what I'm encouraging you to do. So you got to find ways to get better. So it's not the pay. Here's the last thing I want to tell you: your volume and gross. I'm not getting paid enough. It's 2 reasons: not enough volume, not enough gross. On the volume, okay, it's your responsibility to drive more personal traffic to the dealership for yourself. We talk about Facebook, we talk about service, we talk about referrals, we talk about previously sold customers. Look, if you're not going to do those basic fundamentals to get to the next level, it's going to be extremely hard. You're going to constantly complain and whine about what's going on. Gross profit. There's one way to make gross, guys. There's one way to make gross. You know what that one way is? It's closing skills. Do you have the closing ability to get in there and lock a deal down on the first pencil? Are you the guy that goes back and forth 4 times to end up at a mini deal? That's between you and you. If you're not getting better, you're not going to create better results. It's just that simple. So it's not about the pay. Let's go to the 4th lie. The 4th lie is my schedule sucks. Now, if you haven't heard, the car business, we work a lot of hours. That's never going to change. This is never going to change. The one thing that can change is your ability to go to your manager, instead of complaining, start negotiating. Write that down. Instead of complaining, start negotiating. Find the number. You wonder what I'm thinking? Find the number. What is the number for you and your boss? Hey boss, look, here's the deal. I want my own schedule. If I average 17 cars a month, 20 cars a month for a 90-day average rolling period, can I get my own schedule? That won't work. How about 23? Will 25 work? Find the number. Negotiate. Stop complaining. Figure out what it's going to take. I promise you. Go back to the spiffs. You approach your manager and you become a primetime player. I promise you, you can negotiate your schedule. It can happen, but you're going to have to perform. So the schedule suck thing, don't buy into it. Don't tell yourself that lie. Let's talk about the very final thing. This is like in my wheelhouse. This is what I get excited about, and this is what Sales to CEO is all about, okay? And I encourage everybody, go to salesToCEOUniversity.com. Listen, you got to get the program, because going to the next level, how to get promoted, the lie you tell yourself, it will be too hard to get promoted. Look, no sympathy here. I know exactly how to do it, and it can be done. And I say this all the time: if a 20-year-old kid can climb in the car business, anybody can. It's not about the person, it's about the process, it's about the formula. So here's 5 things you can do to ensure that that won't hold you back as far as a lie is concerned, that it's too hard to get promoted. The first one is you got to make the decision. You have to decide for yourself, this is what I want to do. This is the career that I chose. I like the car business. I like the money I can make. I want to go to the next level. You have to decide that, and only you can make that choice. Once you make that decision, every behavior you do should be predicated on that decision. In other words, this is what I decided, and this is what I'm going to do. Okay, and you have to have a commitment that's unwavering. Number 2, you have to relentlessly pursue that commitment. That means anything and everything involving getting better in the automobile business, you should do everything. That's between you and you once again, and you've got to put forth that effort to make it happen. Number 3, you got to be the best in the building. And what I mean by that, if you looked it up in the dictionary, if there was such a thing with that phrase, you have to be the best in the building. In other words, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you show up, the way you dress, the way you close deals, the way you prospect, the way you follow up, the way you work the service drive, the way you do your Facebook, the way you set appointments and get in the show, and the way you close car deals, you have to be the best in the building. I can assure you, if you made the choice to do it, you relentlessly pursue it, and you're the best in the building, you are on your way to get promoted, because people that are at a higher level notice that, okay? The 4th thing you have to do is you have to make it known. If no one knows you want to get promoted, then how's it going to happen for you, right? So your productivity should be the key indicator of you getting to the next level. People say it's who you know, but I always say it's who knows you. So in other words, once you make it known, who knows you? Your abilities and talents and skills. Do they rise so high where people are questioning, who's that guy? What's his name? What does he do? Okay, that is the 4th thing that will help you get promoted to the next level. And the 5th thing, and we can combine this into 3 different terms. Number 1, I've coined law of separation, which is the same thing as Emerson's law of compensation, or you can go biblically, it's just sowing and reaping. In the end, you're going to have to separate yourself. You're going to have to do more service rendered for less wage paid and have a smile on your face, Do it with a smile and know that you will get paid tenfold down the road. You have to have that in your heart. You got to have that conviction to know that if I put forth this effort, in the end, I'm going to get paid tenfold. And just like it says biblically, just keep sowing, man. Keep planting seeds. You will get the harvest. Again, guys, listen, this is the part 2 of lying, and I want to encourage everyone, do me a favor, subscribe, share this video with somebody, some of our car folks in the car universe. Help them get better. You get better. Comment below. And again, until the next Sales CEO, this is Louie Herron.